These masters that I would speak to you of are called the Lords of the Seven Rays. And I have told their story in a pocketbook, which is by that very name, Lords of the Seven Rays. It's 2 books in one. The first half gives biographical background. Who were they? When did they live? What did they learn? What did they bring forth? The second half is their teaching. This book emphasizes the fact that there are retreats of these Lords of the Seven Rays, whom we call Ascended Masters, and that these Ascended Masters have opened their retreats as universities of the Spirit. The Ascended Masters teach us, through the Keepers of the Flame lessons, sponsored by Saint Germain, how we can, as we go to sleep at night, pursue meditation, visualization, prayers, and decrees, that we might enter the etheric body, our souls journeying in the etheric body to the etheric plane where these retreats are. Now, the universities of the Spirit of these 7 Lords officially opened to vast numbers of people, in fact, tens of thousands of people, that would journey there at night on January 1, 1986. There is no question in my mind that all seekers in the New Age, or a vast percentage of them, have at one time or another been taken by angels of light to these inner retreats, and that because of an inner learning process that has begun to percolate into the outer mind, whether through questioning or through seeking or dissatisfaction with one's current state of awareness, there has come about a sense of pursuing a path and arriving at the place when the full awareness should come to you of what you have been learning on these inner planes of being, even while you're functioning on this plane. So the basis of that teaching that you learn at inner levels is the basis that I've given you this evening. That is the cornerstone of your life, your purpose, your goal, and your destiny in this life. This book then is exciting, easy reading, and it's very heavily illustrated. When I tell you about the Lords of the Seven Rays now, and I talk to you about their embodiments, the slides you see are just a few of the hundreds of illustrations that there are in this book. So we begin with beloved El Morya, known as the Lord of the First Ray. He may look fierce, but he's fiercely devoted to the will of God, because the first ray is the ray of God's will. That devotion to the will of God shines in him in these following embodiments when any one of you may have known him and walked with him. The first we record is Abraham, 2100 BC. Scholars assume that Abraham was either a humble nomad or a mythical figure, but archaeological evidence now confirms the biblical portrait of a wealthy military chieftain. He lived in Sumer, came out of Ur of the Chaldees in obedience to the call of the Lord. El Morya was embodied as Melchior, one of the 3 wise men. They used a science of the stars, of astrology, to follow not only the place where Jesus was born, but the year and the hour of his birth. He was Arthur, king of the Britons, in the 4th or 5th century. Until recently, Arthur has been assumed to be legendary, but today both archaeological and literary investigations reveal a 4th or 5th century leader who conforms to the profile of King Arthur. He used Roman military tactics and lived in Scotland. There are also locations that say that Camelot was in England, not too far from Glastonbury. El Morya was embodied as St. Thomas Becket. 1118 to 1170, he was Lord Chancellor of England, friend and advisor to King Henry II. He became Archbishop of Canterbury. He came into conflict with the king over the rights of the church. And shortly following Christmas, on December 29th, 1170, he was murdered in Canterbury Cathedral by 4 knights who took literally Henry's remark that he wished to be rid of this turbulent priest. The tremendous bravery and courage with which he went to that altar knowing that these men were pursuing him, is just one more life's example of the dedication of his soul to be the embodiment of the will of God. The strength and the courage of beloved El Morya, even in the embodiments I have thus far named, is a guiding light to all who know him and feel the presence of his love. El Morya is the master who called me when I was a student at Boston University. He appeared to me. He was the first master I had ever seen with my own inner eye, with the exception of Saint Germain, who had come to me when I was 18. He was there in full presence, powerfully radiating his aura, and said, "I have need of a feminine messenger. Go to Washington to be trained under Mark Prophet." That was his message. Having so delivered it, he moved on. Morya is very straightforward, very direct, and very much active in the affairs of state in the world today, as he was in his embodiment as St. Thomas More, 1478 to 1535, Lord Chancellor of England. He was lawyer, judge, statesman, author, poet, and humanist. All of those callings reflect the first ray.
The preceding lecture was given by Elizabeth Clare Prophet, world-renowned author and spiritual teacher. The Summit Lighthouse is an international spiritual organization dedicated to universal enlightenment. Founded in 1958, the Summit Lighthouse has been a beacon of truth to thousands worldwide and a leader in New Thought spirituality. The preceding program has been brought to you by the Summit Lighthouse. For more information, call 1-800-245-5445 or visit our website at www.tsl.org. Outside the USA, call 406-848-9500 or write to the Summit Lighthouse, 63 Summit Way, Gardner, Montana, 59030, USA.